Hello everybody, welcome to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge and this is your watch-along for the 3pm PM Premier League games. Hope you're all doing very well. 8 minutes late, says Corn. Oh yeah, because I'm always on time, mate. I'm notoriously on time on all of my streams. I've let myself down. A 10-year run and I'm late. Oh shit. Anyway, look, what was I going to say? Yeah, I'm late. I'm actually late for a reason. Seb was going through his mum's advent calendar that she hadn't used from Christmas, and he said, this perfume smells really nice. So he passed it to me, and I didn't realise, I thought it had like a spray thing on the top, and it didn't. It was just an open bottle, and it went all over my hands. So my hands stink of women's perfume. And I'm going out later, so I'm like, look, I don't mind if you like putting women's perfume on, that's up to you. But I don't want to send out the wrong message when I'm down the pub later. So I've been trying to get rid of it, and I can still smell it now. So if anyone's got an idea on how you can get rid of the smell of perfume from your hands, let me know, because it's a problem. MRDC 76, you're blocked. Goodbye. See you later. Thank you everybody who's tuning in. We are ready for Liverpool against Bournemouth at Bournemouth, but there are other games going on as well. What a game. Nottingham Forest have beaten Brighton 7-0, having been beaten 5-0, was it last week, by Bournemouth. I mean, they've got the goal difference back, and they're in a very, very good position in the league table now, because they've got themselves right back up there into third place, 47 points. They're actually 7 points clear of Bournemouth, and if Bournemouth lose to Liverpool today, I mean, look, Champions League football's looking very good for Nottingham Forest at the moment. The dream keeps going for them, doesn't it? Absolutely incredible result. I actually think that the Brighton manager's not that good. I've been saying it for a while now. I don't think Brighton are that good, and I don't think he's getting what he should be getting out of that squad. I think Brighton have got an amazing squad for the size of Brighton, and they're not in Europe. And I actually think they're doing. I don't think they're doing very well. I really don't. I really do not think that they are doing very well for the resources that they have. And if I was Brighton, I'd be looking at the sack, if I'm being honest. I mean, look at where they are. 34 points in 9th place. Only a point ahead of Fulham. That's crap. Brighton should be doing a lot better with the players that they've got. A hell of a lot better. Forest for the Champions League, Mark, says Fraser. No European football. All they've got to focus on, next 4 games, Fulham away, Newcastle away, and Arsenal at home. I think if they can get 3 points from the next 9, that will keep them in a good position. Well, look, to be fair, Fulham away, Newcastle away, Arsenal at home, Man City at home. Those next 4 games, they've got to take some points for them, and they're difficult. Newcastle away is very difficult. Arsenal at home and Man City at home is difficult, and Fulham away as well. So I'd say the next 4 games for Forest sort of dictate what's possible. But even then, even if they lost all 4, they'd still probably be okay. Onions will get rid of the smell. Oh, I'd rather smell a perfume. Players are coming out. Anyway, I think this game's going to be a fantastic one. Bournemouth against Liverpool. Liverpool obviously resting a lot of their players midweek in Europe, out in PSV or Eindhoven. And Bournemouth, of course, not playing themselves, so they'll be fully refreshed. 2 fantastic results for them against Newcastle and Nottingham Forest last week, of course. They come into this game with an opportunity that I think everybody in the league, apart from Liverpool fans, are hoping that Bournemouth take. Certainly Arsenal playing Man City tomorrow. We'll be live for that, of course, on this channel. But if Bournemouth can do something today, I actually would say that this might be the last opportunity, or one of the last opportunities. You look at that league table, they're 6 points clear of Arsenal with a game in hand. I feel that we're starting to approach the time where you need Liverpool to start dropping points, and maybe today will be it. Alisson, Trent, Konate, Van Dijk, Robertson, McAllister, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, Salah, Gakpo, Diaz. Arguably Liverpool's best side. Kepa, Cook, Sabnani, Hulsen, Kirkes, Christie, Adams, Clover, Brooks, Semenyo, and Otara is the team for them. I had a player from... Who was the player who played for Bournemouth last year? I think he was a right back. He used to get me a lot of points on FPL. And I don't recognise the name there. Can anyone remember? He got loads of points last year, and I'm sure he played at right back for Bournemouth. No, it wasn't Solanke, Abdullah. No, it wasn't Solanke. It wasn't Aaron's either. Maybe I'm thinking of Kirkes. There was a player last year, and he got me loads of points last year, but I don't think it was Kirkes. It was maybe it was Kirkes, actually, thinking about it. It wasn't like Klein or Aaron's or anyone like that. It wasn't Tavernier. No. I don't know. I don't know who it was. My volume is not low. If your volume is low, turn it up. My volume is exactly the same as what it's been for the last 2 days. We fixed it. This is as high as it goes. So sort your own volume out. I'm not talking about volume. It's been sorted. I know there's been problems in the past, but it got sorted yesterday. It's exactly where it needs to be. It's not going any higher because it can't. So there we go. Come on, Bournemouth, says United. Forest for the Champions League, Mark, says Fraser. I think that we've done that one. Forest were exciting to watch, says Rohan. Brighton, shocking. Brighton playing the Goldbridge ball formation. No, they weren't, Tanish. They definitely weren't. I'm not taking any claim for that at all. Okay, let's get this timer ready to go. Bournemouth, Newcastle. Who were Newcastle playing? Newcastle playing at home to Fulham. I wish I had my bit of paper, actually. I have. Have I got it? Is this it? That's not the paper. That's not the one. Why do I always lose things? I really wanted it today because I wanted to do win, lose or draw. I wanted to compare what I had with Robbie to add it in, and I had it ready, and I don't have it now because I'm a prat. James Doe is backing Bournemouth today. What a way to bounce back from that loss against Bournemouth, says LOL. I think Liverpool will win this, but I want Bournemouth to win it for the title. Sort your sound out or start learning lip reading, says DJ John. Okay, well, we're ready to go here. Go. There we go. Oh, yeah, I got it. Yeah, there we go. Right, let me just... Don't you just hate when you lose something, but you haven't actually moved anything? It really does wind me up. Oh, that is so annoying. I've moved it somewhere. I'm an idiot. I've definitely moved that somewhere. I know I've moved it somewhere. You have. You're an idiot. Absolute bloody idiot. That's not the bit. That's not it. You're not it. You're definitely not it. And I know it's not here. I've looked there. That's not it. Definitely haven't put it there. You're not it. You've already looked here, but you're looking again. Yeah. Well, you never know. Where do I even put that? Oh God, that's so annoying. I've got no idea. That's so annoying. Anyway, the ball's bouncing around in the box here. Liverpool, Bournemouth clear it away. It's given a free kick. Yeah, UTD says, come on, Bournemouth. Yeah, no one scored, don't worry. There is a goal at Everton, though. Everton are 1-0 up against Leicester already. Only been playing a minute, and it's Decore who's scored. Pickford assist. So, don't know what that's all about, but Everton won. Look, there are other big games going on today, actually. Everton against Leicester, obviously big connotations down near the bottom, but Ipswich, Southampton as well. I do remember Robbie went with a Southampton win. I don't know that he's going to get that right, but look, is today going to be the day that Southampton get a win? I'm not so sure, but big games down the bottom as well. Have you checked memory problems, says John? I just don't know what I've done with it, mate. I found it. Yes, it was under the table. Yeah, so basically, what do we got? Bournemouth, Liverpool. Robbie went with a draw. I've gone with a win. Fucking hell, I went with a draw for Brighton and Forest. What a prat. Everton, Leicester. Robbie's gone with a draw. I've gone with an Everton win. Well, I might be getting a few points today. Sorry, I had a problem there. There's a player down injured for Bournemouth. Szoboszlai is having a word with him. And, yeah, 1-0 to Everton. I was going to do something and I went and did something else. Oh, I'm definitely losing my marbles, I tell you. I'm not losing my marbles. I was just out last night having a drink. That's what it is. I've had too much to drink and it's killed my brain cells. I'm just not focused. I have too much going on and I've completely forgotten. So, yeah, player down injured for Bournemouth at the moment. I just don't get that whole Bournemouth thing where they're all sat on those chairs. It's really weird. I mean, I suppose some people probably quite like it, but Bournemouth have got this little sort of like crap stand in the left-hand corner of their stadium, and I think all their players that aren't playing sit there. It just looks a bit odd. I just think, imagine if that was at Liverpool or something like that. It just looks a little bit odd. Small time, but that's Bournemouth. In a good way. In a good way. Mark, have something to eat. Soaks up the alcohol, says Rowan. Thank you very much. It's like a theatre box, says AJ. Exactly. The cubicle of shame, says David. It's the old TV commentary box. I know, but they stick all their players in there, don't they, that aren't fit and stuff. It's... Maybe that's a psychological thing. If you put your injured players there, they feel a little bit silly, and then they want to get back playing football. I suppose maybe. Don't know. Oh, I know what I was going to do. It just reminded me now. I want to update the ticker. These Europa scores need to go. So, yeah, one goal in the Premier League so far. Everton leading against Leicester. I think we've got another goal for Everton. What a start. I think they're 2-0 up. Hold that thought. Moyes' ball is back. And Van Nistelrooy, well, I think Leicester are heading down, aren't they? Although, it is a bit tight down there. There's something definitely going on at Everton. Look at the live chat. But I think there's a goal for Everton here. I will await updates, but I'm pretty sure they're 2-0 up. Jordan Pickford with another assist. It must be a carbon copy of the first goal then, because Jordan Pickford's got an assist on the first goal. If you've got Jordan Pickford in your FPL team, well done. He must just be pinging long balls. Beto with the goal, apparently. Everton 2-0 up already. Not looking good for Leicester. Everton were never going down anyway. They were never going down with Deitch. I'll worry about Bournemouth in this game. I think Liverpool have started off quite well. Nifal says it's a Tarkowski assist. Well, I'll confirm that to you in a moment. Pickford's definitely got the assist on the first goal, and Tarkowski has got the assist on the second goal. So 2-0. Everton inside 7 minutes. And the league table, which I haven't got for the bottom, looks like that. Everton above Tottenham now. 26 points, 9 points from safety. Leicester not actually in the bottom 4 at the moment, but of course if Ipswich were to win, in the bottom 3, sorry, if Ipswich were to win, that would put Leicester in the bottom 3. And after beating Spurs last week, they'll be very disappointed to be 2-0 down. Let's not lie about it. Where were you last night, Mark? I was out in Noel, which is a little town not too far away from me. In the Octagon Bar, which is a nice little bar which is like tucked off the main street. It was very busy actually, which sort of surprised me because I thought, oh, it's busy because it's the end of the month. And then I was like, well, it's not. Dry January is still going on last night. It was the 31st of January. And I detect actually that these knobhead... I mean, look, I've said my piece about Dry January quite a lot. And it's the 1st of February now. So don't be offended. You're not in part of Dry January anymore. But I'm telling you now, I was out last night. It was busy. A lot of people who were doing Dry January decided, oh, it may as well stop now. Failure. You didn't do... If you're out last night, you failed Dry January. I'm telling you now. You don't need bloody Keir Starmer or Donald Trump to tell you. Goldbridge is telling you. If you went out last night and went, it's only one day, you failed. You absolutely failed, and loads of people did it. I've done most of the month. You didn't do the 31st. You failed. All those 30 days you did mean nothing because you failed, and you shouldn't have been doing it anyway. Stupid idea. Which reminds me, thanks everybody for watching. Who watched Driving with Goldbridge? My new episode on my channel went out on Thursday. Another one coming out this week. So thank you everybody who supported that. I've done that one from Rowan. Thanks for your super chat, Rowan. By the way. Yeah, it was really busy in the pub last night. I went for a lovely curry, though. Oh, it was so good. You know when you've had about 5 pints? And then I had another 2 with the curry. It was lovely. Big bottle of Cobra. No, but the curry was fantastic. Butter chicken, pilau rice, garlic naan, and mushroom bhaji. Lovely. Here's Bournemouth on the attack with Clivert. He's in the box, but good recovery. I think this is a great test for Bournemouth, but I think Liverpool's quality will come. Jotty says, I'm your hater, Mark. Don't know what you're on about. Just the 7 points for me last night, says Stephen. Yeah. Kingfisher's better than Cobra, says Jack. You go with what they got. I did Dry January. I drank every day, and now my bank account is dry, says Rudolph the Red. Why are you always drunk, says TMM. I'm not drunk. I haven't had a drink today. I was out last night. I didn't have a drink all week. So I don't know. Just stop judging people. You know, live and let live. Hey, I'll tell you what. I've sorted out my dry ankles. Look at what I've got on here. But I found them on Amazon. They've got gel moisturising pads in the bottom, and it's great. Just an update on my cracked heel, basically, that. Yeah, Cobra's quite nice. Yeah, it is quite nice. I've just realised there's probably people knocking one out now because they love that. Here's Salah down the right-hand side. Feet people are going, oh my God, I've got to see his feet. Pause it. Some people get really funny about feet. Not me. Disgusting. Yeah, Rudolph the Red, thank you very much for your super chat. So, I've got any either ors? Come on. Talk if Bale is better than Rooney. You only eat Indian and Chinese food, says Aaron Jones. No, I don't. They're my 2 favourite takeaways, but I don't have a takeaway every night. Paul Scholes would have loved that bit, says Enrique. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Bournemouth settled into the game. I think Liverpool started off quite well and are still playing well, but Bournemouth have settled in now. Don't forget, if you're tuning in and you've not seen the Forest-Brighton game, you might want to check it out on the highlights package. 7-0 to Nottingham Forest. I don't think that Brighton coach is that good. I don't know whether anybody cares, but I don't think he's that good. I think they've had a few results this season where they've been a bit lucky. Even against United, not at Old Trafford, they deserved to beat us there, but at their place, they were lucky. And chance for Bournemouth, getting in each other's way. They're still there in the box. Side netting. They're a threat. Oh, they're a threat. Notts County beat Gillingham 2-1. Bayern are 1-0 up against Kiel. Never heard of them. Musiala. Any other games going on? Yeah. Back to the Prem. Back to the Prem. Oh, goal in the Championship. Leeds are 2-0 up against Cardiff. But it's the only 2 goals we've had in the Prem so far. 2-0 Everton against Leicester. 2-0 up in 7 minutes. Lovely play by Bournemouth here down the left-hand side. How does Van Dijk compare to early 2000 centre-backs? Well, you know what? It's like... This. I've got to be careful with this because people won't understand it because they're thick. But Jordan Pickford's a better goalkeeper than Peter Schmeichel. You know why? Because the goalkeeping game has changed. Peter Schmeichel was the best goalkeeper in Premier League history, but the goalkeeping position has changed massively. Like, Schmeichel didn't need to use his feet at all. So contextually, Schmeichel's better than Pickford, but in the modern game, Pickford would be better than Schmeichel because Schmeichel would just be horrific at the ball being played out. So when you look at somebody like Van Dijk, there is context to how people play now because a lot of the centre-backs wouldn't play like the way Van Dijk plays. I think John Terry is a better centre-back than Van Dijk, but in the modern game, Van Dijk would look better than Terry because the game has changed so much. But so I don't think you can ever... What my point is, I don't think you can ever compare 2 players from an era where the game has changed so much. But John Terry in the modern game would be John Terry in the modern game, and he'd be able to do all the modern stuff. So that's what I'm trying to say. The context is really difficult because the game has changed so much. As I say, Pickford and Schmeichel is a good example because Schmeichel would be shit with his feet, even though for me he's the best goalkeeper in the Premier League history. The game has changed. So Van Dijk is a very modern centre-back. I think Van Dijk is... I think Van Dijk is approaching the territory now of the Terrys and the Vidic's and the Vincent Kompanies. I do. I've said that for a while. Super Donut says, win, take, Mark, ignore the chat, they hold nostalgia. No, they're just thick. They're not listening. They don't listen to what I say because that's why I said it. I said it on purpose because there are people out there who just don't listen anymore. They hear something and their brains are just so basic they can't think about what I'm saying. If you put Peter Schmeichel in the modern game, he'd look really shit. But for me, he's the best goalkeeper in Premier League history because you've got to judge it on era and the era they played in. In the modern era, Peter Schmeichel would not work. He wouldn't look very good because he just doesn't have the attributes you need for a modern goalkeeper. Oh, good shot there from Gakpo. If you put John Terry at 25 in the Premier League now, he wouldn't look that good. Because it would be John Terry from the mid-noughties and the game has moved on so much. What's your prediction for the top 4 in order, says Ricky Proctor. I think what I'm talking about there probably goes over everybody's head because they're not actually thinking about what I'm saying. It's like if you put George Best in the modern game, he's going to struggle. Because you're putting 1968 George Best into 2025 Premier League where the intensity, fitness and everything else is high. If George Best was in this era, he'd be world class. What I'm saying is you can't take players from that era and compare them to now because that era is not the same. They'd have to be a player in the now, which we haven't got evidence of. Marcus Razbonglahor. Here we go, says Rub. I have a poll, Jokeres or Sesko. Yes, I like this poll, Jay. Let's do it. Pickford. Why am I typing Pickford? I'm obsessed. Jokeres. Sesko. Go in the chat. Go, go, go. Mark, your prediction for top 4 in order, says Ricky. Liverpool win the title. Arsenal come second. Man City become third. And Chelsea come fourth. What are your thoughts on Jimenez finally getting his big transfer to Milan? Also, AC Milan are heavily linked to Inacio. This is Abraham. I think AC Milan are trying to build a future. And I quite like the signing of Jimenez. Feels like he's been around a lot longer than he is. Mexican striker, Feyenoord, 23. I would have liked him to come to the Prem, but no Premier League club seemed to fancy him. So I think that I'm very happy for him, and I think Inacio would be a good signing for him as well. Brian Dale with a super chat says, drinking out or drinking in? I think drinking out's nice, sociable. Brian, yeah. Who had a better career, Neymar or Bale, says Joe? Bale, I think. Trying to think about who won what. Are you going to watch Ireland England at 5, Mark, says Brian? I'll probably have it on in the background. Yes. Who have you got between City and Madrid, Mark? Oh, well, look, I presume Madrid will win that one quite comfortably. I mean, Real Madrid tend to grow into the Champions League traditionally anyway, and they're still a really good team, so I would expect them to beat Man City. But what I will concede is that sometimes that might not happen. But I would expect Man City to win that, surely, yeah. Dorgu's dad says Patrick Dorgu is really looking forward to signing for United, Mark. He was a huge Chelsea and Eden Hazard fan as a boy, but United will now be his club. Imagine if it really was Dorgu's dad. But I'm excited for him to come to United. Hopefully Tell as well. I actually think this is a good conversation point for That's Football. Gyökeres has just battered Sesko. Not in real life, just in a poll. 81%. I want to run a poll here. Will Rashford be a success at Villa? We'll do that one next because I want to. Will Rashford do well at Villa? Desperately need to get this new laptop. I've had this year's. It's so shit. It's going to die at some point. It just slows down. Bournemouth on the attack here. Oh, is it? Oh, my God. How did he get that shot off and he's hit the bar? Should be 1-0 to Bournemouth. Absolutely smashed the shit out of it. I think Everton are 3-0 up. Poor old Rude. But poor old Bournemouth, they should be winning. They should be winning. What a hit. Gets it onto his left foot. Mate, if that goes in, it makes Kanate look absolute shit. Semenyo, what a hit. So Rude Awakening says, yeah, it might be offside for Everton. I think it's still 2-0. I haven't got this poll up yet. Will Rashford do well at Villa? Yes or no? Thoughts on the Forest game, says Jack. I didn't actually watch it, mate. I was Seb was sat in this chair playing Fortnite, and I was doing a bit of DIY, but I kept getting messages from one of my mates who is from Nottingham, who was just a twat, who was going, oh yeah, 3-0, 4-0. So I didn't watch it, but I think anybody who beats anybody 7-0 in the Premier League deserves some credit, and it was against 11 men as well. Look, as I said, Brighton, for me, are the most frustrating team in the Premier League. I think they should be doing a lot better than they are. I don't know that manager's all that. Maybe Brighton have recruited a hipster manager that's not all that, for once. If England get 5 spots for the Champions League, who do you think will get in, except for Liverpool and Arsenal, of course, as beans on toast? I think it will be Forest in 5th. Yeah, I think it will be Forest in 5th. Oh no, drama! Southampton are beating Ipswich. What did Robbie know? Robbie did go with a win for Southampton against Ipswich. Well, they are winning at Ipswich. He's got insider information. Aribo, 22 minutes. What's going on, Ipswich? What's going on? That's not good. Ipswich have got to win that. What's for dinner, Mark, says Ahmed? I think I'm going to have a Chinese tonight. Which is a bit funny because I had an Indian takeaway last night, but I think I'm going to have a Chinese tonight. I don't normally do 2 and 2. Sir Bosley, good safe keeper. Could have been 1-0 to Liverpool there. So Bournemouth have hit the bar. And Sir Bosley has hit the keeper. It's still 0-0. Callum RB says, as a Villa fan, I'm concerned about Rashford coming. Mate, the only thing about Rashford, I would say, as a Man United fan to Villa fans, is I haven't got a bloody clue what's going on with him. He's not as good as I think people hoped he was going to be, but he's not as bad as he has been for the last year. So I think there's something going on. I think there's something behind the scenes going on because he doesn't run around on the pitch. He isn't putting it in training, and that's a fact. So I don't know what it is. Is he out of love of football or whatever like that? But if Villa think that they can get him back in, interested, you will get a decent player. But at United, we've just been banging our head against the brick wall for about 12 months where we just can't get him interested. So he's not putting it in for whatever reason. It's not that he's bad, he's not actually putting it in. So if Villa can get him to put it in, and I think Emery's the sort of coach who could, I think you'll get a good player. And I think on a 5-month loan until the summer, there's nothing really to lose. So I'm interested to see how it will go. I'm not doing Wolves versus Villa watch-along, no, Dale. They're normally really boring draws. So, yeah, I'm not watching that. But if Rashford goes Villa, I'm definitely doing I'll definitely be doing a lot of Villa watch-alongs. I'm interested. I really want him to do well. Despite people out there thinking I have an agenda against Marcus Rashford, people who watch the United Stand will actually know that off Twitter and stuff, I do like Rashford. As a player, I think he's a good player. I don't like what he's done with his career, but I do think there's a good player there, and I want him to do well. So, Minnie says, hey, Mark, on current form, what would you say would be the best England squad for Tuchel to use? Mate, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I will watch Tuchel's England with interest, but I don't have enough of a care to know what the best team is for England. I mean, look, obviously, you're going to put people like Declan Rice in and Saka, hopefully Cole Palmer. I think his biggest issue is going to be what he does with Harry Kane, because I just think the way Harry Kane plays doesn't suit the massive amount of creative players we've got, because he drops in their space. I think England are better with just an out-and-out striker like Ollie Watkins, but they're never going to drop Kane, are they? That was the massive problem. People don't want to have that conversation that in the Euros, our biggest issue was that we were better when Harry Kane wasn't on the pitch. So has he got the balls to solve that problem? Good question, Minnie. Did you watch Johnny Wilkinson's drop goal in 03? I did. I loved it, Dex. And I even went out and bought World Cup 03 on the PlayStation, which I used to play all the time. I got really into rugby then. Tejaz, welcome to Members Club. Peace, appreciate that. Azalea swapped Chris Wood in FPL last night for Duran. Mate, you are thick. Mate, what is wrong with you? You're lying, surely. Hey Mark, on current form, what would you say would be the England squad for Tuchel to use? Says Minnie. I've done that one. Thank you very much. What if someone says you're a Timu something? What does that mean? I mean, I don't want to be penalty to Liverpool. No, that looks so soft. That looked so soft to me. They're not really complaining about it. I don't think it looked like a penalty, but there's no complaint, so it must be. He's really not complaining, is he? Oh, yeah, because he's tripped him from behind. Fair play to the Bournemouth player. I always look at the player's reaction and... no, that's not a penalty. He's tripped himself. Oh no, he does catch his back foot. He does. Sorry, and that to be fair, that's a tough one to read. But the Bournemouth player is not complaining. The Bournemouth player is not complaining at all. So he obviously knows he's clipped him. So it's got to be a penalty. Look, I don't think it looked like a penalty, but the Bournemouth player just didn't complain. So I've played the game. I look at the player's reaction. He doesn't look like he is. Might be offside actually. He definitely looked like he tripped himself, but when you watch it, it looks like he actually does catch him. They've given it. VAR did look at it. Penalty. Can you do Driving with Goldbridge weekly, says Callum. People need to watch Driving with Goldbridge if I'm going to do it weekly. I'm going to do one more next week, and if it doesn't get 100,000 views, I'm not doing it. Salah on the penalty. Lots of people very angry. Liquid says, I'm a Liverpool fan, and for me it's not a penalty. I think he clips him from behind like Christian. It didn't look a pen, but the fact the Bournemouth defender didn't even complain says everything to me. So Salah's going to take it. Southampton still winning 1-0. I mean, Salah won't miss this. And it is 1-0 to Liverpool. 1-0. Liverpool score from the penalty. They've got the lead. Keeper did go the right way, but it's a goal at the end of the day, and Liverpool lead 1-0. It's been a close game. Bournemouth have given a good account of themselves in this first half an hour, but Liverpool lead through a Salah penalty. Maybe a bit of a controversial penalty. Some people in the chat are not happy. And of course, Bournemouth had hit the bar, but Szoboszlai did have a chance just before that. Lots of people saying it's not a penalty. I would love to agree with you because I want Bournemouth to win, of course, for obvious reasons. But I tried to be level-headed on That's Football. And the thing that struck me, I've coached the game, I've played the game, I've watched the game. When the defender doesn't protest, I think it's a penalty. And look, a lot of defenders, when it's 50-50, will still go, what? He didn't do anything. The Bournemouth defender didn't do anything. He just went, because he knows. And that's it. I think if the defender had complained, I'd have said, that's never a penalty, that's never a penalty. But, you know, he knows. He definitely knows. Ipswich have equalised. Good. I need them to win. Robbie went with the Southampton win. I went with Ipswich. Remember, you can catch our win, lose or draw. Me against Robbie for the season. There's a big forfeit at the end. 12-11. Are we 16 all? Altogether, I think. We're 16 all now. He's 17-16 because he said Forest had beat Brighton. I said a draw. But I have got Everton down as a win. I've got Liverpool down as a win. And I've got Ipswich down as a win. And I've got... he's got Newcastle as a win like me. So I could spin this around this afternoon. Ipswich are 1-1. Delap. What price Delap to Villa if they sell Watkins? Do you think Watkins will go? 59% if you think Rashford will do well at Villa. There we go. M. Parker says, growing up, did you also want Beckham's hair? I had it, mate. Check out my Instagram. I'm sure there's a picture of me on my Instagram with Beckham hair. Bloody hell. I've definitely lost weight from then. A lot of people saying it wasn't a penalty. I'm going to run a poll on it. Was it a penalty? Because the funny thing is, I think it absolutely was, but only because the defender didn't complain and VAR didn't even ask him to go and have a look at it. But get your thoughts in. 1-1 Ipswich and Southampton. 2-0 Everton against Leicester. They did have a goal ruled out for offside as well. So Everton have got off to a right stormer. Liverpool are 1-0 up against Bournemouth. I just don't get this stupidity of Bournemouth putting them players in the corner, but there you go. Still 0-0 Newcastle against Fulham, still 0-0 after 34 minutes, by the way. That is another game that's going on. Obviously, Newcastle are still going to be going for top 4. Silently. And it's all them at the moment. They've had 5 shots, 1 on target. Fulham haven't had it. I thought Fulham were very disappointing against United last week. Carson says, does pineapple belong on a pizza? Well, it belongs on my pizza, mate. I love a bit of pineapple on a pizza, definitely. Lewis Skelly, call up for England's lack of left-back, says Ryan. Yeah, there is a lack of left-backs for England, isn't there? Where did your Man United career go, Mark? Nowhere. I've just not done it for a while. I think the game's a bit... I don't think it's the best incarnation of the game, really, that I sort of lost a bit of appetite to come back and play it, if I'm being honest. But I might do. It might come back. Everton just been robbed of a penalty, says Ted. Sheffield Wednesday or Sheffield United, says Y2 Infusion. Genuinely have always preferred Wednesday. I think it's just because when I was growing up, they had Chris Waddle there, who I thought was a brilliant player. Olmo, registration removed. Your views. Will there be any space of other player like Rashi? This is Vigiar. So what happens to Olmo then? Let's have a look at Barca Times on social media. Yeah, they're not going to be able to get Rashford, are they? That's why Rashford's going to Villa. Here's Bournemouth down the left-hand side. Good play. Kirkez. Not his best cross. Goal! 1-1! Yes! Bournemouth, get in. Lovely stuff. Kirkez with another assist. Brooks, offside. Shit. Oh, that's getting clipped, isn't it? How can he be offside? Doesn't make any bloody sense. Oh, it's the pass to Kirkez. Oh, well, I knew Brooks couldn't be offside because it's a cutback. It's the pass to Kirkez. I can't speak. He is offside as well. Bloody hell. That is just a bad pass from the Bournemouth player into Kirkez. He needs to play it quicker. It might not be offside. I think he is offside, but he might not be. Get your lines out. You know, to be fair, the pitch is a bit off like that. Newcastle have scored, by the way. What happened to automated offsides? Oh, mate, they'll be drawing this for fucking ages. I'd say he's offside. Don't know. You know what, though? What I will say to Bournemouth fans, and I think most of us are Bournemouth fans, they've got no idea that's offside. The way they're drawing those lines, I wouldn't even want to do a video on it. It's offside. If you could do a being John Malkovich on any player or manager, past or present, who would it be? Says Hulls. I've never watched the film. So I don't really know. I'd be lying. I don't know what the concept would be. Automated offsides were meant to come in the first international break back in September. And we're now nearly at the March international break. Cameron said, if that's a penalty, there should be 10 a game. Who are your top 5 Spotify artists? Says Tobbs. I don't listen to Spotify. I do listen to music, but I don't listen to Spotify. I listen to playlists that I've built myself. I don't really listen to it. Was it a penalty? 52% of you say yes, 48% of you say no. Close. It's not Coldplay, no. So, Liverpool survive again. I mean, look, Bournemouth have had a goal offside and they've hit the post. Is it just what you'd call experience here? The bigger experience of Liverpool. Header straight at the keeper from Trent. Basically you get to see their life through their perspective. Ronaldo, I think that'd be an interesting one. Newcastle are leading 1-0, by the way. We sort of missed that amongst the offside goal for Bournemouth. And it's Murphy, who's having a very good season for them, who has scored 1-0 against Fulham. Still 1-1 Ipswich, Southampton. Still 2-0 Everton, Leicester. So all the 3 o'clock games have got goals in it. But of course, the big one is Liverpool, Bournemouth, and Liverpool are winning 1-0. I think if Liverpool win this game, I'm really struggling to see where the points are going to get dropped to reel them in. The gap really is going to be 9 points because I think they will beat Everton with that game in hand, which is coming up quite soon, actually. They play that game against Everton. I mean, if you're Arsenal, do you want them to play that game in hand? They're playing it a week on Wednesday. So, yeah, their next 4 Premier League games are Everton away, Wolves at home, 6 points, I think. Man City away, Newcastle at home, Southampton at home. Yeah, I don't really see where Liverpool are going to start dropping points. They've got Everton at home soon as well. Fulham away, West Ham at home, Leicester away, Spurs at home, Chelsea away, Arsenal at home, Brighton away. I don't see... Liverpool, Arsenal have got to beat them, so that's 1. Chelsea away, 2. I can't see any of them being a problem. Chelsea away, Arsenal at home. Man City away. I reckon they've only got 3 games where I think they might drop points. Like lose. And all that does is put Arsenal level. I can't see it. I can't. That's why today is really important. I can't see it. I really can't. Yeah, Spurs are going to Brentford tomorrow. If they lose that, they're in big shit, aren't they? Look. They've got Newcastle. Yeah, but they've got Newcastle at Anfield, mate. I don't think Liverpool are going to be worried about playing Newcastle at Anfield. I really don't. Aiden says he dives, there's no contact. Listen to me, mate. If there wasn't any contact, the defender would have gone mad. He didn't do anything. Perk says, Mark's top 3 Spotify artists are Ollie Murs, Gary Barlow and Liam Gallagher. Ollie Murs definitely ain't there. I haven't listened to much Take That for a while either. Thank you very much. Justice says, why would we lose to Brentford? Because you're shit. And Brentford are good at home. I'd be stunned if Spurs beat Brentford. To be fair, Goodison should be rocking because it will be the last derby there. I think Everton could get a draw, says Shane B. Yeah, well, we'll do a watch-along for that. It's a week on Wednesday. Although, I think Man City might be playing Real Madrid that night. Let me have a quick look at that. No, they're not. Man City are playing on the Tuesday. Bayern Munich, Celtic. Didn't realise that was the... I didn't watch... You know what? Normally I do a Champions League draw watch-along, and I just thought I'm not doing a Champions League qualifier watch-along. That can draw watch-along. That can get in the bin straight away. No doubts. No doubts about it. I love your old Driving with Goldbridge videos. Your story reminds me of Alan Partridge. I love it, says Dom. Well, I take that as a compliment because I grew up on watching things like The Office and Alan Partridge and Only Fools and Horses and The IT Crowd and Game On and all stuff like that. So I would imagine that there might be a little bit rubbing off. Thank you very much, Dom, for your chat. I'm looking forward to Arsenal City tomorrow. We will be live for it, yes. But I think it becomes pressure for Arsenal if Liverpool win this, because they have to beat Man City tomorrow. I think they've got to. I think they've got to. They've got to anyway. I think Bournemouth deserve to be level in this game, but you don't always get what you deserve. I'm going to do a very dangerous thing here. Everybody's out, but my daughter's in. I'm going to ask if she'll make me a cup of tea. I don't even know if she can. Mark, I know you're a big Oasis guy, but what do you think about bands like Nirvana, Metallica, Smashing Pumpkins, etc.? Overrated, all of them. Absolute shit. No, I don't. It's not really my genre, but I don't mind some of their songs. To be fair, there's a Smashing Pumpkins song I like. Tonight, do do do. That's not what it sounds like, but I don't know what it's called. It's quite epic. I do quite like it. Oki says it can't be worse than an American making tea in the microwave. Oh my God. I did a video on my channel once called Goldbridge Makes a Cup of Tea. Got 100,000 views. Then I fell off. It's called Tonight. Oh, there, it's good. I like that one. Anthony gone, Malacia done, Rashford on his way, the window's looking good, says Ryan. Just need to get rid of that bloody Casemiro, to be honest. 16,000 watching. You're an absolute legend. Love this community that we're building here. Please do subscribe, by the way, because we are really close to 1.3 million. We're at we're on 296 at the moment, and we're only 200 away from 297. So make sure you subscribe, get involved with That's Football. Really good start to the year for us as well. I've enjoyed doing the videos with Robbie and Loz and just adding a few strings to the bow, and that will continue. Daily content as well, match reactions, live watch-alongs. Yeah. Jar Bar Drinks, what are your thoughts on In Excess? I quite like a few In Excess songs. Do 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 little do 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 do, and I love Never Tear Us Apart. Never Tear Us Apart. All their songs have a do 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 do. They all have a bit of a riff. Over the bar from Liverpool there. It's 3-0 to Everton. A rude awakening is definitely the case. Beto. Back of the netto for Beto. It's 3-0 right on half time, and they're going to be getting the 3 points. And what did Robbie say? Draw. Draw that, Robbie. It's a win for me. That's only 1 point, though. He did get Brighton losing. I said Brighton draw, so that's 1-1, making it 17-17 all in. However, if Liverpool win, I get a point. Although I don't really want that point. And I did say Ipswich would win. He said Southampton. In the Ipswich-Southampton game, by the way, that's got to be 3 points for Ipswich. They need to win that game. And interestingly, statistically, it's quite an equal game. 50% possession for both. Although Ipswich have had 4 shots on goal to Southampton's 2. Half-time, Newcastle, Fulham. Where are Newcastle in league? 4th. 44. Only 3 points behind. You see, they are a silent killer, Newcastle. Silent assassin. Metal Gear Solid they are. Because nobody really talks about them, but they're right in there. Right in there. Don't write off Newcastle. Luke James says we need a new cooking with Goldbridge ASAP. Got an idea. Yeah. Boom. Apparently terms are agreed with Rashi. I'm just having a quick look. Aston Villa are now closing in on signing Marcus Rashford. Man United are considering loaning Tell. However, an experienced player is currently at the top of United's list. Also, Bayern would prefer to sell Tell rather than loan him out. It's interesting how Pletty goal on social. It's half time in all the games at the moment, so we can talk about this. Aston Villa are closing in on a signing of Rashford. Man United are considering loaning Tell. However, an experienced player is currently at the top of United's list. Wonder who that experienced player is. Bayern would prefer to sell rather than loan. We can't afford to buy him, so that might open the door up to somebody else. And Romano has given an update on Rashford as well. Fabrizio has said 23.3 million followers, by the way. Oh, just unbelievable. Marcus Rashford has agreed personal terms with Aston Villa. Deal imminent after initial green light in the morning. Understand Villa and United are closing in on loan deal, discussing buy option clause. Emery called Rashford player attracted by project and Champions League football. I think it's exciting. I do. I think it's exciting. Yeah, I really, really do. I've got to say, don't know what your thoughts are. Half time here. We'll go through all the... all that in a moment, but currently Liverpool leading in the big game of the day 1-0. Bit unlucky, Bournemouth actually. Hit the bar, offside goal, but Liverpool with a penalty. Bit contentious on the penalty, but as I said, I played the game. The defender is full of guilt. He doesn't react the way an innocent person would react, and I think that's, to me, is why the penalty's been given, and he must know that he's clipped him. But when you're looking at the replays, if he'd have gone, that's never a penalty, that would convince me it's never a penalty. So a bit of a funny one on that. But anyway, going back to what we were talking about, Marcus Rashford has agreed personal terms at Aston Villa. He's convinced by the project. He's spoken to Emery. Here we go is going to happen very, very soon. I think that what I would say about that is that I think it's going to be a good deal for Aston Villa. I think it's an exciting deal. I'm one of those people that pretty much for all of last season and all of this season, I mean, to be fair, Rashford's been bad for 18 months, hasn't he? Because he was bad last season as well. I've been saying for 18 months, he'll be better this season. He'll be better next month. I'm just one of those eternal optimists that he will rediscover his form. And I might be talking total shit, to be honest, but I still think there's a player there. I don't think he's a Saka. I don't think he's a Cole Palmer. I don't think he's a Mo Salah. Certainly not. I think he's a player that on his day is very good, who will have inconsistent days, but for the last 18 months, he's predominantly been consistently bad. So I think that if a new approach in a new club, I mean, look, if I was Aston Villa, I wouldn't be letting him live in Manchester. I mean, is he commuting down? That's one thing I would stop straight away. I would not be doing that deal if he's going to... I know it's only 2 hours down the road, but I'd be getting him down living around Villa, because I think a lot of things with Rashford are going out and stuff like that. So if they can get him down living close to the training ground, etc., and get him totally focused, I think there is a chance. But I don't know. It's Villa's thing now, but I will watch with interest, and I still think there could be a good player there. Georges says, James Garner is playing really well for Everton today. Thank you very much, mate. 3-0 up, of course. Half-times are this. Liverpool 1-0 up against Bournemouth. Everton 3-0 up at half-time against Leicester. Southampton and Ipswich are 1-1. Ipswich need to win that game to help their chances of staying up. And Newcastle are 1-0 up against Fulham. Puts them into 4th place as well. Have you seen the film In Bruges? You'd like it, says Nelly. I never have. No. Has been recommended to me. And Danielle says, reasonable price to make the Rashford permanent move. I'd like 50. I'd settle on 40. I think 40 million to Villa permanent move. I'd do it. Because you're going to have to sort his wages out, aren't you? I don't know whether Villa can do that deal permanently, because his wages would be always a problem. So, yeah. Compass says I'd take 20. Well, no, I'm not talking about right now. I'm saying if he goes there and does quite well, I'd say 40. I'm not definitely not now. What I'm saying is if he goes to Villa and scores a few goals and gets a few assists, I'd say 40. Yeah, at the moment you would struggle. Swindon are 1-0 up, says James Irwin. That's what we're here for. Do you think Salah will be in the Ballon d'Or? Currently has 20 goals and 13 assists in the Prem. Yeah. Oh, thanks. That's not bad. Thank you. There we go. Cup of tea from the daughter. Never had one of these before. Smells of bloody perfume because of my hands. I won't be able to smell the poison. Oh, it does smell of perfume. I can't. It smells all right. It tastes like hot water. Where's the tea? That's the thing. How long's the tea bag been left in? I'll give it a 5. Taste of perfume. It's my hands. I just needed a hot drink anyway, to be honest with you. Hi Mark, the PGMOL are using online abuse to label anybody with a valid criticism as inciting hatred. They will never be held accountable. They will, Nelly, because we will hold them accountable. I was talking about this with Robbie on DR Sports on Monday and on here yesterday. I mean, look, you're going to get abuse. I get abuse. I get death threats. Like, what am I supposed to do? Oh, let's just stop the watch-along because I had a death threat yesterday. Let's all be outraged. It's just, it's the world we live in. And the reality is, Michael Oliver made a stupid mistake last week. I'm allowed to say that. Michael Oliver made a stupid mistake last week, an arrogantly stupid mistake, and it's not the first time he's done it. What are they going to do? I'll look at Goldbridge inciting hatred. No, I'm not. I'm stating a fact. If some moron wants to take that to the next level, that's up to them. But I'm bored of the propaganda. I'm really bored of it. Like, I think that there is so much, and shame on the world of football, because we are being completely and utterly manipulated in football. Absolutely. Like this Club World Cup in the summer is about money. The extra 2 games in the Champions League is about money. Now, whether the Club World Cup actually ends up being a welcome addition to the calendar, whether you enjoyed the extra 2 games in the new league format, that's by the by. Whether you get enjoyment out of it, the fundamentals are more games, more money. That's why they didn't go, let's have 8 games and a big league because we think it might be more entertaining than the current version. They did it because they want more games and more money. That's why they did it. If you enjoy it, that's a bonus. But they didn't do it for your enjoyment. They did it for more money. And, I was talking about this week with the overlap, and you've got Gary Neville there saying that Michael Oliver should be refereeing the Arsenal-Man City game because he made a mistake and he's the best referee in the country. And I'm like, I don't trust that opinion at all because I know how the mainstream work and I know how the overlap works and it's produced. Gary Neville's not the producer on that show. I produce this show. Robbie produces his stuff. I pretty much know what goes out is from me or, if you're watching that. But that's produced. That's just mainstream content that's gone onto YouTube pretending to be, off the cuff. It's not off the cuff. Why are we being preached that Michael Oliver should be having the Arsenal-Man City game and that he's not a bad referee and that he made a mistake? But you and I know that, hold on a minute, did Michael Oliver not do Arsenal-Man City last year? And if Arsenal hadn't won the game 1-0, we'd all have been going mad about the 2 red cards that Kovacic should have got that VAR and Michael Oliver inexplicably didn't give. So that's another mistake, Gary. And then there's there's the penalty against De Ligt that we didn't get, that got given, that Ten Hag ultimately got the sack for. Oh, and there's the Doku assault on McAllister that's actually used as a picture as a foul on the Premier League website, but wasn't because Michael Oliver didn't give it. So, look, we've got to be very, very careful because we are being indoctrinated into what is not about freedom of speech in football. In my opinion, it's about manipulation. There is so much manipulation media out there. And in a sense, that's why I said last weekend about Michael Oliver, the abuse is an absolute disgrace. But it's being investigated. The PGMOL have told us that there's been, horrible things said about Michael Oliver and his family, and the police are going to investigate. Oh yeah, absolutely disgusting. That is disgusting. Well done to the PGML. That's disgusting. Right, can we get back to talking about him being a shit referee now? That's what. No, because of this. Yeah, you told us about that. It's disgusting. A minority of people have gone too far. Absolutely disgrace. Let us know what the outcome is. Let's get back to talking about this. No, we want to talk about this. No, you've told us about that. It's a separate issue. That's idiots doing idiotic things. Hopefully they will get a prison sentence. Let's go back to actually talking about the real problem, which is your shit officiating. And that, is the issue, isn't it? Rashford deal almost done. Well, we are pretty much waiting for a here we go. And if we do get a here we go, it will be a here I go, because I will have to go and react to that because it's a Saturday and there's nobody else. So we are waiting on it, but it's not come through yet. I would hope it won't happen until full time because I do want to watch. Well, I will be watching the game anyway, but yeah. Who gets the number 10 shirt if Rashford goes? Don't know. Sorry, I'm just getting a message here. Sorry, let me just send it. Let me send that back. If Rashford doesn't impress Villa, Man United are in the mud, says Steve. I think it's important for everybody that he does well. Please do a live cooking with Goldbridge, says Ben Packer. Get a couple of tea bags, says George. And Dan Casemiro Morgan, thank you very much. Who would the experienced winger be for United? I think it's an attacker they're looking for, Alex, actually. And Ashweir says, if Rashford decides to put the effort in at Villa, then that just shows his previous indifference at United was a choice he made. That's what I'm hoping is the case. Nelly says, in Bruges would be right up your alley. Go on. Fantastic point by Nelly, actually. You prompted me to actually get into that. Mark interviews Rashi incoming, says Rudy. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I don't think him or the people around him particularly like the United stand, which just, again, displays their big issue because actually they obviously don't watch it because actually I've always been quite supportive of him as a player. I don't agree with a lot of the stuff that he does and what goes on around him, but that's, to me, that's a very separate thing. Okay, players are coming out for the second half here. Is there a way back for Bournemouth? I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. They're up and running at Ipswich and Newcastle. Still 1-1. Ipswich, Southampton, 1-0 Newcastle. They're just about to come out for the second half in the Bournemouth and Liverpool game. And tried your triple-decker, Mark. 10 out of 10. It is lovely, Ali. Lovely. Glad you enjoyed it. And Leper Messiah says, you must retire the number 10 shirt if he goes. Thank you very much. There we go. What happened to our number 7 shirt? Well, it's basically retired while Mason Mount's here, isn't it? I mean, that number 7 shirt is, yeah, it's a joke. Somebody said to me that in the last 2 years, the number 7 shirt for Manchester United has been off the pitch 80% of the time. Our most iconic shirt is off the pitch 80% of the last 2 years, apparently. It's just ridiculous, isn't it? Even from a bloody marketing point of view, it's stupid. Truk says, so Rashford's going to be a villain at 2 clubs. Do you think there's a way back for Bournemouth? I think the way Bournemouth play, they'll keep having a go, but I think the next goal is going to be really important. If Liverpool get it, I don't see a way back. Apologies if it's already been suggested, but I'd pour a canister of Lynx Africa over your hands to cover the perfume, says Robbo. I have got some Lynx Africa somewhere. It used to be behind me on the shelf, actually. Oh, I think Seb took it, actually. Thank you very much. Tea rating, 5 out of 10. There's just, I feel like the tea bag's been in for about 10 seconds. There's no taste there. It's almost like drinking hot water. Anyway, we're up and running for the second half. But do I think it was a penalty? Sometimes on Twitter you can see good replays of it, and I don't think it looks like a penalty, but then I saw one angle where it looks like he catches his leg, and if that's the case, then obviously it's a penalty. Right, I found it here. Yeah, he catches his back leg. But look, the problem with it is, watch the reaction of the player afterwards. He just doesn't do anything. And look, loads of people are saying it's not a penalty, it's not a penalty, it's not a penalty. But I just keep looking at the player and he doesn't protest, so he must know. He must know he's clipped him. That's the thing. I've played the game, and if a player goes down tripping himself and I haven't touched him and the referee gives a penalty, I'm not just going to go, oh well. And the defender doesn't do anything. So it makes me look like, I think it's a penalty because of the way the Bournemouth player reacts, like he knows he's clipped him. If the Bournemouth player had gone, what are you talking about? I'd be sat here going, that's never a penalty. But yeah, you got to be fair. The Bournemouth defender did not protest it at all. As a Brighton fan, I'm devastated. What a loss, says Max. I think you need to get rid of your manager, mate. I think he's a bit overhyped. I don't think he's that good. Thanks for your super chats this afternoon, by the way. Appreciate that. Please do subscribe to the channel. Bottom right-hand corner. On our road to the 1.3 million. Still 1-1 Ipswich, Southampton, 3-0 Everton, Leicester, 1-0 Newcastle, Fulham. Even a draw for Bournemouth would just give Arsenal a little bit of hope. Powell says, has the overlap done any watch-alongs recently? I suppose it's quite difficult for them to do it because they've got, they're all doing Sky stuff, aren't they? I'm sure they'll do more in the future. I mean, basically, they just nick everybody's ideas. I saw something the other day. It was like Loose Women. It was that Kelly Cates, Dalglish, Lampard's wife, and they were having a chat with Carragher's wife and Gary Neville's wife. I was like, they've nicked this idea from Loose Women. And they've got Stick to Rugby now. Stick to Rugby, Loose Women, Watchalongs. I'm guarantee they'll have Stick to Darts soon. I mean, give it. To be honest, she's been in the news a lot. How long before it's Stick It Up Your Arse with Lily Phillips? I wouldn't put it past them to do that. Bournemouth free kick. You can clip that up actually. That if you clip that up, that'd probably do quite well. People love all that at the moment. Daily Mail bloody love. The only reason I know about who that person is, by the way, is because the Daily Mail are always writing about it and it pops up on my feed. And I don't know, it's quite clickbaity. So it's with headlines like, I did this with 1,000 people in 2 hours. I'm just intrigued to know what happened. Do you think they'd do that? Do you think that show would be a watch-along, Mark? What, stick it up your... Yeah. Carragher and Neville commenting on it, going, that sounds like Gary'd be taking it. Mark, it's my girlfriend Kerry's birthday. Sorry, Kerry, from what we were talking about there to what I'm about to say now. So Rohan says, it's my girlfriend Kerry's birthday. Can you wish her a happy birthday? She's a fan of Lego like you, and we're going ice skating today. Well, thank you for bringing us back to reality. Happy birthday to Kerry. And enjoy ice skating with Rohan today. I still haven't built my Jaws Lego, actually. I saw it the other day. I'm really looking forward to building it. When I build it, I'll put it up on the shelf behind me. But I really, really wanted that for Christmas. I just haven't time. People say, well, you know, it's February now. You got that at the end of December. Why haven't you built it? But the thing is, I don't want to start it and do like half an hour. I actually want to have a few hours where I can just build it. And in January, with all the transfers and stuff, it's difficult. So I'm thinking there might be a quiet week in February where I can just have an afternoon where it's, you know, cold outside, big jug of tea, and make my jaws let go. Kieran says, do you think Watkins will go to Arsenal? If only to run the experiment that I've been talking about for 2 years, put Watkins up front for Arsenal and they win the league. I mean, to actually see that experiment in real life would be a huge personal thing for me. Even Robbie knows about it from AFTV. He was talking about it yesterday because I've said it so much. Please talk about the match, says S. I talk about the match when this thing's going on, mate. It's very competitive between Bournemouth and Liverpool at the moment, but there's not a lot going on. It's sort of a lot of intensity, a lot of speed, but the game's just breaking down a lot in the midfield, cancelling each other out. Goldbridge builds Lego Watchalong, says Citizen Z. Mate, it would be hours. That would be good fun. Tamori just turned Spurs down, says Brian Dale. Oh, Dad, what's going on at Spurs? As I said yesterday, Tamori and Tell are treating them like trophies. What does Tamori and Tell have in common? No, I can't. There is a joke there. They all begin with T and they all turn Arsenal down. Spurs down. Oh, I've ruined it. Look, I don't want to offend any Spurs fans, proceeds to offend Spurs fans, but you're getting turned down because you're Spursy. People are looking at it and going, I don't fancy that. Duran was obviously told he wasn't the man, says Pizza. Hey, it's a shame for Duran, but I was out last night with a Villa fan. And can I think of anyone? So I was out with a Villa fan. We were talking about this the other night. Why would a 21-year-old go and play in Saudi when you've not completed your journey and you're just off for the money? And I was speaking to a Villa fan and he was just saying to me, to be honest with you, we're really happy because it's massive profit for us. And he clearly wanted to go. So it's a good deal for Villa. And then he said, look, he's from Colombia. He's probably from a poor background. You're on that amount of money. He's gone for the money. It's his choice. So I don't relate to it because I'm like, you know, it's massive money, isn't it? But, you know, I want to play football. But you can sort of see it, really. Another yellow card for Bournemouth. They are starting to accumulate. If Rashford plays incredible at Villa, would you take him back? No! No. No. Scarecrow. No, what's the point? What is the point? There wouldn't be any point in doing it. I think you've got to move on. You know what? If you break up with your girlfriend or your boyfriend and then, you know, you're down the local pub and they're with somebody else and they're really happy, and when they've left, someone comes over and starts talking about it and said, yeah, they've got a great sex life, having the time of their life, and then you're going to take them back. Some of you would, but I think just be happy for them. Let them move on. And I don't do sloppy seconds. I can't think of any player that's happened for where they fall out with the club completely, they fall out with the manager, they go on loan, they do well, and then they come back to the club. I don't think even Rashford would want to do it. The risk of it all falling apart again and you going back to that hellhole of, you know, where he is at the moment, I just don't think it's a good idea. And nobody ever considers the players' thoughts either. Corner here for Liverpool. We had this a lot last season with Sancho. Oh, should he come back? And nobody ever actually considered that Sancho wanted to leave United as well. Swapped by Slabozley, blocked. Chalobah's done it. Yeah, Chalobah has done it, I suppose. But Chalobah didn't get accused of being lazy in training. Chalobah didn't go out on the piss when he should have been training. Chalobah wasn't Chelsea's biggest earner, so it's not the same, is it? Chalobah was treated like shit by Chelsea, but I don't think there was any question the other way around. Do you think Arsenal will sign anybody, says Ryan McGeevy? I think Arsenal have to sign somebody. Talk to me, Arsenal fans. I was saying this to Robbie yesterday. Like, what are you doing? I still think Ollie Watkins Monday. I think teams are just trying to be respectful to each other and getting the games out the way. Villa have got a game tonight. Arsenal got a game tomorrow. I think from tomorrow night, things will start to happen with Arsenal. Transfer window shuts on Monday night. Spurs have a lot to answer for, scaring two of the brightest prospects in football away from the Premier League, says Robbo96. And Duran is a United legend, says Jay. What? Because he's helped Rashford go. Good spin on the turn here for Bournemouth, but good recovery by Andy Robertson. And, well, they want a handball there on Trent, Bournemouth. I think there was a lot of Bournemouth fans who were like... Fulham have equalised, by the way. There's a lot of Fulham fans there going, that's a handball, but I don't think it was. Do you think Rashford would have a realistic... We've done that one from Kieran Cook, haven't we? Georgina says, is Lee a donkey for saying you would rather be where United are now than challenge for the league like Arsenal because they bottle it? He is a United fan. Yeah, I'd rather be Arsenal. Huge Lad said you might have missed my super chat. I'll go back. Goldbridge builds Lego Watchalong, says Citizen. She's all dressed up. Huge Lad says, Mark, I don't understand the hate you received. Do you think it's a football thing or just an internet thing? Anyway, United. I think a lot of the hate comes from the fact that, obviously, I've got an opinion. And if you have an opinion, some people are going to dislike you. It's part of the game. I understand that. But I also think some of it comes from other content creators who just can't focus on their own content without mentioning me. And yet I don't mention any of them. So... Look, if it was Gary Neville, I'd understand it, but he doesn't say anything about me. He wouldn't. He wouldn't give me the steam off his piss. But there are a lot of content creators out there who are trying to, I suppose, build their audience, and they just don't shut up, and they spread lies and bullshit. So I think that's a factor as well, but that's the game, isn't it? I've played the game. I think I've caught up there. I am doing the Super Bowl next Saturday night, yes. It is 1-1 Fulham Newcastle. That's a good goal for Fulham. I don't know whether the goal was any good, but it's Jimenez. But what I mean is 1-1 at Newcastle is a good result. Still 3-0 Everton Leicester. And Ipswich 1-1 Southampton. Could do with an Ipswich goal there. McAllister's coming off for Curtis Jones. I mean, Ipswich are out the bottom four with a draw, but they could have another 2 points here, which I think is going to be big in the longer term. When are Van der Ven and Romero back? Because I know Dragason's meant to be out. Super Bowl is not on Sunday. It's a week on Sunday. She's all dressed up with a broken heart. Salah, Lays it off. Edge of the box. Curtis Jones, blocked. Bournemouth fighting for their lives a little bit here. Trent blocked. Yeah, Liverpool pushing for the second goal here. John Jordan says, what do you think of Dennis Irwin on the overlap? I don't watch it, mate, to be honest. I watch little clips every now and again, but I find it so... I feel like it should be on Sky Sports on a Sunday morning. It reminds me of the Sunday supplement. The guy who runs... Okay, sorry, I was actually going to read a WhatsApp from Beth then. I really shouldn't have read... I genuinely was going to read it as a live chat. That would have been funny. Ref's a joke, says Shane B. Cambridge have equalised against Wickham. Are Salford losing? No, they're winning against Walsall. 1-0. I tell you what, Bournemouth, Liverpool have gone up a gear. This tends to happen with Liverpool a lot, doesn't it? Second half slot, they go up a level. I feel like there's a second goal coming in. Salford are on the edge of the playoffs. Just outside the position, if you're interested. Let's have a look around the grounds. No goals in the Prem. Leeds are beating Cardiff 5-0. Birmingham are 1-1 with Rotherham. I'll tell you what, I haven't looked at the Championship League table this year. I'm so bad with the Championship. I really just am quite Premier League specific. Leeds are top with 63. Sheffield United second with 61. Burnley have 58. So basically, am I right in saying that 2 of the top 3 got relegated? Yeah, Sheffield United and Burnley could be coming straight back. Not Luton, though. Luton are in the bottom 3. Madness. Bit of a tasty foul by Van Dijk there. Yellow card. And Como says that Salah's having a bad game. Well, man, look, I don't think they'll give a shit as long as they win. I think United and Tottenham should be relegated and Southampton and Leicester deserve to stay up, says Gracie. I think football's not for you, Gracie. And do you think Liverpool have a good shout at the treble this year, says Kieran? Look, dare I say it? They don't look like a treble winning side to me. I mean, Man City's treble is a joke, but they were a good side. Liverpool are good, but they're not giving off treble vibes. That doesn't mean it won't happen. I think the big thing is going to be who in Europe's going to stop them. Is there a team in Europe that's better than them? I think they'll win the Premier League. They might win. Look, here's one for you. If you win the Champions League, the Premier League and the Carabao Cup, Liverpool will claim that as a treble. But it's not. The proper treble is the FA Cup, the Premier League and the Champions League. I think they might win the Carabao Cup. I'm not so sure about the FA Cup. It's a lot of football for a squad that's not super big as well. And anybody who says that Liverpool wouldn't claim that as a treble, you're a bloody liar. Liverpool tried to. What year was it? You tried to claim a treble. Even Carragher said it was harder to do. I think it was 2001. They won the. They didn't even win the champ. They didn't win the Premier League and they didn't win the Champions League. They won the Europa League or the UEFA Cup, the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup, and they tried to claim that was a treble. And then Carragher said it's actually better than Man United's because they were all cup competitions. Yeah. Look, they could win a quadruple where they are at the moment, but I don't think they will win the treble. MT90 says, I saw a debate on X about whether it's right to support a local team and a Premier League team. Could you do poll asking if you have a local and Prem team? Okay. Thank you very much for your super chat, MT90. Something a little bit different. Do you have a local and Prem team? Do you support sort of two teams, basically? Yes or no? I don't. I have 23 minutes to go in all these games, by the way. Can Bournemouth get an equaliser? No other goals in the Premier League. Still 1-1 Fulham and Newcastle. Still 1-1 Ipswich and Southampton. Still 3-0 Everton, Leicester. I don't have that. I have obviously I support Manchester United, and then I just like football. So I like watching Bournemouth Liverpool because I want, it's the title race. Bournemouth are playing well. Hopefully they can get a result. I want to watch Arsenal Man City tomorrow because it's a big game. Last week I was watching Chelsea Man City. It's a big game. So I don't actually follow anybody else. I don't even follow Solihull now. Every now and again I'll dip in on their results, but I don't know who they're playing today and I don't know what the score is. So look, I can dip in with teams, but I don't religiously follow another team's results other than United. I just love football. Please subscribe to the channel, That's Football, and listen to the podcast each Monday morning, that Goldbridge Saves Football. Oscar says, I just wanted to say I appreciate all the hard work you put in. It's not easy to do 3 live shows every day, plus the watch-alongs and research for your videos whilst juggling your private life. I love doing it, Oscar. I absolutely love doing it. And I've absolutely loved this week. I think, I don't want to say too much, but we've been working on something this week, which is takes me back to my investigative days. It's going to be a big thing. We're not quite there yet. Might never come out, but we're sort of 80% of the way on a story that is just fascinating. So I think even you'll be interested in it, even if you're not a United fan. I just wanted to thank you very much for that. If you had to choose as play-by cards, who would you rather win the league, Liverpool or Man City? I don't think I have to choose because Man City aren't going to win the league. Oh, he's hit the post. Score! You twat! You're an absolute twat! Oh, I can't believe it. Kluivert, who's been scoring so many goals, has missed an open goal. But how did the other goal not go in? It's an amazing shot. It really should be 1-1. Brilliant play by Bournemouth. I don't know who hits it. I'm trying to see who it was who hit that chance for them. Who hits that shot for them? It's an absolute banger. Tavernier. Yeah, he wasn't in the starting lineup. He's hit the shot right against the post. And then it's fell to Kluivert, who's missed an absolute sitter. How are Bournemouth not level? They've had the chances. I don't think they deserve to be winning the game, but they certainly deserve to be level. Did he have too much time to think about it? It's one of those, if you're not completely, instinct, I don't know. Liverpool a bit lucky there. Chris Wheeler has reported that Rashford has said his goodbyes to the team and staff at Carrington, says Fraser. Wrexham will win the league before United, says Gracie. I always said that Wrexham have got a better chance of winning the league than Spurs, and they were in the National League at the time. Predictions for Celtic, Bayern and Man City, Madrid. Bayern and Madrid go through. Blair. That's my prediction. Jashi says, what's your take on Wolves? You think they can stay up? I'm a United fan, but I have a soft spot for them. Look, Wolves shouldn't be going down. I'm just watching this chance for Clive here again. Oh, he's got to put it on target. If the defender blocks it, fine, but you've got to put it on target. Could have put it back as well. There was a tap in for somebody else. Arsenal City watch along ? Yes. Yeah. Liverpool got a corner, 20 minutes to go. And Luca says, as a Roma fan from Rome, I love your stuff. What's your thoughts on Totti and De Rossi, our club legends? Loved Totti, loved De Rossi. Love Italian football, but those two were, yeah, remind me a bit of Mancini and Vialli when they were at Sampdoria. I just loved those two players. Growing up, I was a kid. I loved those two players. Yeah. Podcasts, just Spotify. I use YouTube Music, says Damien. I don't know where I always say the podcast's on Spotify, Damien, but I think it is on Amazon and other stuff. I think it does go to other platforms. I'm not 100% sure. Has the ref really been as bad as people are saying, says Bixie? I'll leave that to the chat. I can't say I've been watching it intensively. The only one that's debatable is the penalty for me. And I think it was. Some people... Hi Helson as triple captain Salah. FPL. I've sort of stopped doing it. I've stopped doing it this season, but I don't know whether I'll ever get back into it. We're only 100 subscribers away from 297,000 on the road to 1.3 million. So please do subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. I will have a match reaction going up straight after this as well. And we've got Arsenal versus Man City, of course, tomorrow. So always a lot of content on That's Football. And the great thing is you're all welcome, of course. Goal! Liverpool, game over. There we go. Mo Salah. Well, the timing of that's incredible. Your triple captain's Mo Salah. We're just talking about how it might not be a day, and he's got 2 goals. Game over. Game over, title over. I just don't know where they're going to drop these points, you know. I was looking at their... You can sense the desperation in my voice. Yeah, look, if you don't want Liverpool to win the league, they needed to be dropping points. But I said they won the league when they beat Man City at Anfield in December. So for me, this is not a surprise. But if there was to be an opportunity... It's a lovely finish by Salah, by the way. Very little backlift. It's absolute quality. How people don't think he's world class is laughable. Somebody said it was a cross. I think when it's a player of that quality, you've got to give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't think it was a cross. I think it was a goal, and it's 2-0. But going back to Liverpool, I sort of looked at their fixtures a few weeks ago, and with Bournemouth away, I felt that was a game where they might drop points. Brentford away, Forest away. They've taken 7 points from 9. That's not enough. That's not enough. I looked at that at the start of January and I thought Forest away, Brentford away, Bournemouth away needs to be a couple of losses. 3 from 9 or 5 from 9. They've ended up with 7 from 9. They've not dropped enough points there. So I just don't see it. And when you look at the league table with Liverpool as well, begrudgingly, the issue is as well, they've only lost 1 game. They don't lose games. And that comes from having the likes of Alisson, Trent, Van Dijk, Robertson, that experience in that team that they've done it before. Redback Spider says, game over. I remember the day we blew a 3-goal lead at Bournemouth. Yeah, but it's not going to happen, is it? Favourite non-domestic league player from the past? Gotta go Del Piero. Wish he'd come to the Prem. Nedved and Guti were close as well, says Sir J.K. Worthing. It's a good question. Who was my favourite non-domestic player? It would definitely be coming from the Italian league. And who did I like in the Italian league? Loads of players. I liked Signori. Del Piero is a good shout because I did like all the free kicks. Baggio, Signori, Totti. Every time I used to put the highlights on, it seemed to be there would be at least one good free kick every week. What about Messi? I mean, Messi's a good shout, but I think you always look back with nostalgic eyes when you're growing up, don't you? So I'd be looking at the Italian league in the 90s, really. I loved Maldini, Batistuta. It was such a... And also, I imagine the football was quite shit, really. But because we used to get highlights, it was all highlights. So there'd be one Italian league game live a week on Channel 4, but then you'd get the highlights show. So you're just watching highlights every weekend. So you get the best bits. So you probably overrate the players a little bit and the league. What do you make of Aston Villa's Champions League run so far, says Tom? I think they need to be back in it next year. I think that's another incentive to get Marcus Rashford is in the hope that they can start climbing up the league table. Like they need to beat Wolves today, don't they? Aston Villa aren't going to win the Champions League, so they're not going to qualify for the Champions League through that. They need to be in the top 5. And where they are at the moment with 37 points, they could get in the top 5. But they need to start winning games. And Villa need to be back in the Champions League. Kirkez would be a very good signing. For Liverpool. Or wherever he goes, he'll be a very good signing. Still 1-1, Ipswich. Oh my God! There's a shock coming in at Newcastle. And it's good news for those in the top 4 race. Because Newcastle are going to blow this unbelievably. Fulham were so good this season, but they were so bad against Man United last week. Well, I'll tell you what, they've got a late goal. They've got a late goal, Fulham. It's coming in now, 2-1. Unbelievable. That would be their second loss in 2 games in the Prem. Abraham says, Mark, in the next 10 years, do you see another team other than Liverpool or Man City winning the league? As a United fan, this is depressing. Yeah, I don't think that... I don't think that will... I think there'll be another team that wins... Yeah, yes, I do think someone else will win the league in the next 10 years other than Liverpool or Man City. Very good win for Liverpool, though. Don't have the goal for Fulham yet, by the way. What's going on at Ipswich? Why haven't they won? 15 shots to 7. 6 on sharp target to 2. Surely there's going to be a late goal at Ipswich. It is 2-1 to Fulham. And the goal is being given to Muniz in the 83rd minute. That's a blow for Newcastle, that is. That's going to drop them out of 4th. And... that's a problem. Muniz scored. Thank you very much in the chat. Right. And bloody wind chimes. Trent was terrible today, says S. Well, it's just it's the quality of Liverpool at the end of the day. Kieran McCarthy says, what's your opinion on dodgy boxes politics-wise? I think that it's absolutely incredible that in 2025, where you can put a man on the moon and, you know, porn stars can be doing 1,000 people in 24 hours, people in England can't watch 3 o'clock games or all Premier League games for some archaic rule from the 60s about apparently we're going to go and watch our local team instead. I don't know why a government or somebody hasn't just said, let's end this stupid, idiotic, draconian rule. I mean, I would say it's infringing on your human rights as an English football fan that you are not allowed to watch all Premier League games because of some stupid rule. But if you live in Sweden, you can. It's absolutely ridiculous. But this is the world we live in because nobody can actually be asked to just get rid of this stupid rule. I don't see the benefit of it at all. It is absolutely stupid. For example, if you're a Liverpool fan and you want to watch Bournemouth play Liverpool, they only have 11,000 capacity. They only give 1,000 away tickets. Are there 1,000 Liverpool fans in the UK? No. There's bloody hundreds of thousands of them. So hundreds of thousands of Liverpool fans actually can't legitimately watch Liverpool play Bournemouth in a title race. Stupid. I don't know why people put up with it, but the Super League was the first time football fans actually got together and started doing something. It's incredible. You know, when you actually think about it, the rule is absolutely stupid. And when you look at why the rule's there, it's even worse. It's to help lower league football. I mean, are Liverpool fans genuinely out there going, I can't watch Bournemouth play Liverpool, I'll pop to Tranmere or Accrington Stanley? Are they bollocks? It's such a stupid rule, and it needs getting rid of. Needs getting rid of. Opinions on where do you think Forest will finish as NFFC? I'm putting you 5th, I think. Goldio says, I love how you said Villa need Rashford for a top 4 finish with a straight face. That's like saying you need to fill a car with Pepsi to win the Grand Prix. Ooh, he's getting the analogies in. Take him a spot. Judah says, morning Mark from the US. Love your work and the passion and dedication you put this into this fan base. You really get me through the day. All love. Get in. Thank you very much, mate. Thank you very much for the super chat as well. Mo Salah has passed Frank Lampard's record. Southampton have scored. Robbie's loving it. Fucking hell. The fuck's going on? Ipswich, you deserve to go down. You absolute shits. So win, lose or draw, me and Robbie go against each other every week. He said Southampton win at Ipswich. What? Check his bank account. What's going? Check Ipswich's bank account. What the fuck is going on? How would he know that? Bloody hell. I can't speak. I can't speak. Off the Post says, this channel makes my mental health better, thanks. I think it makes mine better as well, mate. It's good interaction. Ipswich, Nunez is on for Liverpool. Ipswich 1, Southampton 2, 88th minute. It's confirmed. Well, Ipswich have shit the bed there. If you can't beat Southampton, you may as well be Southampton. That's a massive chance for Ipswich today. Southampton at home and you don't get 3 points. You're the odd one out. These results are great for Forest for top 4. Yeah, Bournemouth losing, of course. Yeah, they'd be a competitor. You're 7 points ahead of them. Newcastle losing as well. They'd be a competitor. 6 points ahead of them. Man City playing Arsenal tomorrow. You can't, either way, that's going to help you. Yeah. I mean, it could get quite congested. If Villa beat Wolves, that puts them up to 40. That would be 1 point between 8th and 4th. I just think, as I said, with Forest, they're in a very good position at the moment, but their next 4 games will define their season. Away to Fulham, away to Newcastle, home to Arsenal, home to Man City. They are 4 difficult games. And I think if they can get 3 points from that, that might be okay, actually. 3 from 12 might actually help them. But, it's not great, but they can't afford to lose all 4. Are Spurs the worst big team ever, says Joel? I think they are the most inconsistent team out of all the big teams, yeah. What do you think are my club's chances in the Champions League, says Ryle? Hoping for the glory days to return. Keep up the great work. I mean, Barcelona might not be a bad shout for the Champions League, I hope they do well. But... I don't really know for the Champions League. I said Liverpool were going to win the Champions League at the start of the season. I got laughed at. I think at the moment they probably are the favourites, aren't they? Good results for Chelsea as well, says Max. Yeah, Chelsea got West Ham though, aren't they? I mean, Chelsea are dropping like a stone at the moment. But I would say this game, Bournemouth have had chances. I'd love to know if promoted managers change their style of play or stay naive and play the same way as they do in the Championship, says Jordan. Well, look at Vincent Kompany. Russell Martin. Redback Spider says allegedly put a man on the moon. Oh yeah, we don't want to start that debate. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Everton 3-0. Newcastle losing at home to Fulham 2-1. Ipswich losing at home to Southampton 2-1. And, of course, Bournemouth losing at home 2-0 here. Gaps 9 points between Arsenal and Man City, and Liverpool have got a game in hand. If Man City were to beat Arsenal tomorrow, forget about it. I just don't see where Liverpool... I mean, look, remember, Arsenal have got to go to Anfield as well. I think this title's been gone for a very long time. Mark, who is your EPL team of the season so far? This is pointed at you. Is that the Premier League? Liverpool. Gaz Wilson says, do you believe in ghosts? I think it'd be pretty cool if it was true, but I think until you've had that experience, it's one of those, isn't it? Although, I tell you what, a couple of Christmases ago in the old house, went to the toilet, looked down the hallway, and there's our Wi-Fi was in the hall, and it had a bit of a light coming off it, and in front of the light, it looked like there was a child like this in the hallway, kneeling down, and I was like, oh my fucking God, what's going on here? Like, my heart dropped, and I turned the light on, and what it was a Sainsbury's bag that had stuff in it, and then a blanket in front of it. And I was like, oh, I'm going back to bed. How long does Rude get at Leicester? All the bounce of a bowling ball should have held out for Moyes, says Daniel. I said this about Ruud van Nistelrooy though. If Leicester are going to, well, good save by Alisson. If Leicester are going to sack Villa Ruud van Nistelrooy, if they get relegated, they're morons. Like, for me, it's a bit like Amorim at Man United. It's not about what happens between now and the end of this season. It's what you build for next season. And Leicester, for me, with Ruud van Nistelrooy in the Championship, is a good fit. But the way football works, I wouldn't be surprised if they sacked him in March because they still think they've got a chance of staying up. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Everton have scored again, 4-0. That was well timed. I can't believe Ipswich have lost to Southampton. What a bunch of prats. What a bunch of prats. I'm telling you now. What the bloody hell's going on there? I don't know. I can't speak. Absolutely incredible, Jim. Yeah, 4-0 Everton. Fourth goal by Ndia. David Moyes. It's like being back in 2010. David Moyes doing well at Everton. Just need to bring Fellaini back. Everton have scored more today than they've scored in the last 5 years, says Tim. How far would Forest go in the Champions League, says Space Cloud? Well, somebody would be disrespectful and say not very far, but in that league format, you'd expect them to get in the top 24. Bournemouth on the attack, another stupid shot. They've had their chances today. It's amazing with Bournemouth because they've been so good at scoring goals in recent weeks, but they couldn't hit the ocean from a boat today. It's just not had their shooting boots on in the game where it really mattered. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe it's that problem today. Maybe it's just the pressure of a big game. Fulham have beaten Newcastle 2-1. I don't know how they've bounced back from that because they were so shit against United last week. But having lost at home to Manchester United last week, which I'm sure was very disappointing for them, they've gone to Newcastle, which ain't easy, and they've won. But then again, from Newcastle's point of view, is St James's Park becoming a little bit of a, an easier trip? Last two Premier League games, they've been beaten twice, Fulham and Bournemouth. It's a 2-1 win for Fulham, and it's a blow for Newcastle in their top four hopes. That would have been 3 points they would have been expecting to get. Still 2-1 to Southampton at Ipswich. They could be moving up to what? 9 points? Am I right? Yeah. Only 2 off the worst ever record. They'll be looking to break that. Ipswich. That is a terrible loss for Ipswich. It really is. Maybe the pressure got to them. I don't know. And of course, Everton are going to beat Leicester. They're 4-0 up. Not born this day, I think. Yeah, I'd agree with that. What about the Leeds game, Mark? 7-0. Yeah, 7-0 against Cardiff. Absolutely battered them. Leeds heading back to the Prem. And it's all over at Bournemouth. It is a win. We're back tomorrow with the Manchester City Arsenal game. Arsenal absolutely have to win that. They have got to win that now to have any chance at all. But very good win for Liverpool, and not the result probably everybody else was looking at. Ipswich have lost to Southampton as well. Everton have beaten Leicester. It's all over. I'm going to do a match reaction. I'll whack that up. We're back on here tomorrow for Arsenal against Man City. Thanks everyone for watching. I'm on the United Stand later. Lots of content on there. Lots of things going on. Rashford about to sign to Villa. Take care, everyone. Have a great day, evening, whatever you're doing. And I'll speak to you soon.